morning, everyone, and welcome on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Today, we get to meet with the Port of Gulport, Mississippi, Chief Executive Officer, the CEO, Mr. Jon Nass. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Sunday of Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we are in Gulport, Mississippi, with the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jon Nass of the Port of Gulfport. Mr. Jon, thank you for the opportunity. And, you know, you have not been here that long, but a lot of the growth has really hit the ground running since you have begun. And I love how we did such research for 8 months nationwide. We were looking for the perfect person in Mississippi to run the Port of Gulfport. And you stressed right when you came in here how important it was to get to know the Gulf Coast community, get to know your team, the staff, your board, that was equivalent to the importance of the infrastructure right here in Gulport, Mississippi.
Absolutely, and thank you for spending some time with me.
Absolutely.
Courtney. Yes, one of the things I was really impressed with when I got here was the infrastructure. And by that, I mean both the physical terminal, but also the human resource infrastructure. So the team we have managing this asset here, and as you mentioned, our board. We have an experienced, thoughtful board that governs us, that meets once a month, that weighs in on all our major decisions. And we're just very fortunate to have dedicated volunteers who are willing to spend the time and help guide us, steer us in the right direction.
Right, and you have a background on Homeland Security. And they were saying all over how they were doing this search for the perfect candidate, how not only is it important to be educated and experienced with the port, but with the legislative issue, the people, the relationship, and the economic development right here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into all of this and how you got to where you're sitting right here?
One of the things I find fascinating about the port business and why I think I have the best job in the world is that it is so diverse. Every day is different. The skill sets are really quite varied. The gentleman or gentlelady with the ILA operating a crane has a different skill set than our lawyer, who has a different skill set than our communications person. And really, as CEO, you get to touch on all those. And there is a lot of government relations. There's dealing with government agencies. We are a heavily regulated industry, so we have very serious security with the U.S. Coast Guard monitoring that. We have U.S. Customs. We want to work with both of those regulators to make sure that nothing is getting into the country that shouldn't get in here, that bad guys aren't able to take advantage of us. And so we do work very closely with both Customs and Coast Guard on those issues. So that is kind of the Homeland Security end of it. But we're also heavily involved in DoD activities. We're one of 18 strategic seaports in the United States. And
right here in Gulport, Mississippi.
Right here in Gulport, Mississippi, which in some ways makes sense because we do have such a heavy military presence.
And the location right on the Gulf of Mexico, it all correlates and makes sense.
It does, and so we're so proud to be able to support our troops by moving their military equipment through here, doing it efficiently, doing it quickly, always being prepared to be able to move a certain amount of equipment in 24 hours or 72 hours when the call comes. We're ready to help do that. but we also have a great involvement with the Seabees. So they're located 1.8 miles from our front gate, one of two battalions in the United States. And they approached us about whether or not they could do some training on our terminal. One of their missions in wartime is to go in and restore a port. So it's rare for them to actually be able to train in an actual port. Yet here we are 2 miles from each other. We had some discussions. My deputy or my chief of operations is the son of a CB. So he started some of those conversations, and now they've been able to train on our terminal. They've had 2 major training events. One, they stayed on the terminal for 3 weeks. One, they stayed for 2 weeks. They set up a camp. They simulated a war zone. So there was the barbed wire. There was a bunker at the entrance with sailors with machine guns and boats in the water protecting them. But then they did what they really trained to do, which was set up an aid to navigation. So we had an aid to navigation damaged, and they were able to repair it. They were able to remove some obstacles out of the water, and it really turned into one of those great win-wins. That they're able to get their training done, we're able to get some work done, and so much so that we're considering naming the point on the other end of our warehouse as CB Point. We have a 4-year agreement with them to do training in the future, and it's something we're really proud of.
Well, you have been in your position for a year, is that right? You're fairly new. A year and a half. Well, you came with a lot of things happening, such as the pandemic and different situations. They were looking for the perfect candidate, and then they found you. The board, the state of Mississippi, everyone looked, diligently for the perfect person. Why is the Port of Gulpport, why is that so important to the community and our safety and the different things, the supply and demand, as well as the blue economy?
One of the things that's so fascinating about the Port of Gulfport is its diversity. It's diverse in our freight mixture. It's diverse in our activities. We're involved as a landlord for the casino. We're involved as a landlord for academia. We've recently become involved in hosting high-tech manufacturing right on our terminal, and we're the traditional port assets. So all those things come together to really be an economic driver for the whole state. And we have an incredible asset that creates great jobs in our community. They range from hardworking guys working equipment to professors teaching students and everything in between. And so we take that responsibility very seriously. One of the things we're really looking at is how do we take this beautiful asset that so many people in the community have invested time, effort, thought, money into.
Absolutely.
How do we respect all that commitment and really turn it into something they're going to be proud of? And so that's something we get up every morning thinking about, and we think we're moving the ball forward every day.
Well, you still are considered fairly new, and the buzz is you've hit the ground running. You have provided a lot of jobs, you and your team and your board, of course, but a lot of jobs at the Port of Gulfport. And what do you see as the efforts of reconstruction since Katrina? We lost jobs, the pandemic, we spent more money. How do you feel you have played a part in bringing all this to the coast?
There was so much activity, and I think one of the reasons I was hired was to take the reconstruction and now utilize it and make a little shift there from largely construction projects to more business development that directly creates those long-term jobs. We are doing it in a thoughtful way. So we've just concluded a strategic plan. And I truly believe that you need to know where you're going to get there. And you need to be thoughtful about it. You need to be methodical about it. So our strategic plan is really teeing us up for that success. What do we want to be? But then what's our plan to get there?
Right, exactly. And when you came to the coast, you kept saying it was a situation where we need the right person, we're having a pandemic, we're making efforts, reconstruction, still building from Katrina. How did you come in here? Were you feeling a little risky, or did you see the potential in the vision? Were you like, Mississippi Gulf Coast has the potential of growth?
I saw that. I certainly saw it when I came down to visit before I took the job. but I've really experienced it the last year and a half, and some of it wasn't what I expected.
Right.
What I've found here is the intellectual capacity that is through the roof. I mean, everything from Stennis to the USM folks to companies like Ocean Aero that are working out on our terminal. There's a lot of smart people here. And the cool thing about that is that's something to build on and to create some momentum and really make us a center for a lot of different things. I mean, one of them's a blue economy, but another...
And I definitely want to touch on that. So when you were coming in the situation, everybody was like, we need the perfect person because of all the things, the pandemic, the things that were going on, the jobs that were in such high demand. But you saw some potential in the Gulf Coast. You noticed the intelligence of each person. And now that is why the buzz is, the jobs are provided. More people all over Mississippi, we're all excelling and having these advantages that the Port of Gulpport has provided for us.
We're really seeing the fruits of our collective labor here, and we're seeing it in measurable ways. So we're very proud of the fact that our man hours for ILA labor were up 23.9% last year. What that boils down to is 58,000 hours, additional hours. And these are ILA folks. They're making about $30 an hour. So that's a real economic impact.
That absolutely, yes. And you're building the quality of life. And, we all want to hear a little bit about the blue economy. I love talking to people like you, the movers and the shakers, watching my home, Mississippi, grow and develop. And I would love to hear what's going on, some of the current stuff that's manifesting at the Port of Gulfport.
The neat thing about the blue economy is it means a lot of different things in a lot of different places. So in Reykjavik, Iceland, it means something different than Seattle, than something different in the Gulf Coast. And the real secret to it, in my humble opinion, is finding your niche and finding what your community does best. And
I love it.
One of the things our community does so well is partner. And to be successful at it, you do need that partnership, and you need the ability to bring different strengths to the table. So we're not scientists at Port of Gulfport.
I know I'm not a scientist. But I will tell you, Mr. Jon, we're going to take a quick break, but I want to touch more about this. I want the viewers and the coast to kind of understand a little bit, and so we can see it, get the excitement, the great things, the jobs being provided, the reconstruction, infrastructure. So much great things happening here, but we're going to take a quick break. And we will be right back.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulport.
Thank you for calling J. Allen Toyota Service.
This is what happens when you set an appointment at J. Allen Toyota Service. We will order the part right then, so it'll be here when your appointment comes. Our greeter staff will greet you quickly and friendly and top off your fluids before your car even leaves the drive. Then your car will go to one of our 6 two-man express teams or one of our 10 certified technicians so they can get you back on the road safely and quickly. This is service the way it should be at J. Allen Toyota Service.
Thank you, South Mississippi, for making us your #1 Ford dealer on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. 39 years strong of quality sales, service, and parts. Don't forget, we'll beat your best deal regardless.
beacon of healing, resolute and consistent. Determined, we are problem solvers, driven to overcoming obstacles. Unshakable, we are prepared, capable, experienced. Unbeatable, we are a network of people providing care throughout your lifetime. We are believers in the healing power of compassion. We are Memorial.
So John, we touched and we began to talk about the blue economy and the impact and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast, as well as Mississippi as a whole, is going. What does make the Mississippi Gulf Coast? What is the definition and the vision for blue economy here? Because you mentioned it's different everywhere. And you've lived everywhere. You have so much background. So where do you see us and where do we stand?
It's the partnerships. You know, I think it's an extension of, people talk about Southern hospitality, and one of the things I've learned moving here is it's real. People really care about each other, and it makes it easy to partner. So a great partnership brings different strengths to the table. A great partnership, be it personal or professional relationship, is about mutual respect. It's about working together towards a shared goal. And what we have here is a great mixture. It's the smart people at USM. It's the port's ability to build infrastructure and maintain infrastructure and manage a deep water asset. It's the high-tech entrepreneurs that are interested in developing their new technology here. And we have all that, and really it's a community that wants to work together towards that shared goal.
And I love that because it does take a village, and you're really close with USM. The synergy is very close, and you work very closely with them, don't you?
We do. I was with them this morning and with some of them this afternoon or yesterday afternoon, and we do look at it as a partnership. So that means people bringing different strengths to the table. I think one of the strengths we bring to the table is the ability to manage large projects, to build a building, to dredge a harbor, to make transportation connections in and out of the port. And so that's what we want to bring to the table. We know USM's bringing something else to the table. We know that the local community, the mayor, is extremely supportive of developing downtown based around this blue economy, and we appreciate that strength that he's bringing to the table. So it really is, I guess you call it a gumbo.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
And it's a good one. So I feel we're working together towards that shared goal, and we're going to see successes, and we're going to see really the fruits of our labor paying off as long as we continue to work together.
Well, you're so humble, and you're very meek, but don't you see the fruits of the labor starting to manifest? Is it true? Can you tell me a little bit about the Ocean Arrow, the blue economy, the development? That's what the people on the coast, we're enjoying all these things. We're hearing about people wanting to move here. But tell me about Ocean Arrow, and why did they want to come here?
Well, we're so excited to have them as a partner.
Sure.
And really, they showed up one of the first days I was here. I know a lot of the community, Mississippi Power and the county development, were working to bring them here for a long time. But one of the first people I met was their CEO. And we went and had lunch, and he talked about how he wanted to locate his headquarters on our terminal. We started talking about it, and I believe we moved in remarkable speed to get that underway. We set up temporary manufacturing facility in existing warehouses, but now we're building them their headquarters. So what they are is the manufacturer of. Okay,
and they're your partner, Port of Gulpport's partner.
Yeah, in a technical.
Or y'all work cohesively?
Yeah, we're essentially a landlord if you boil it down to that. We're leasing them rare space on a terminal, but we're also building and financing their headquarters and manufacturing facility. But we're partners in lots of different ways. So they're testing their vehicles in our harbor on a regular basis. And recently they were doing some mapping work, and they provided us with a high fidelity mapping of our entire harbor. So it's not your typical business relationship. I look at it as a partnership. They've been very successful in creating jobs for local folks, but also bringing in people from San Diego and all around the country. And
they see a lot of potential right here.
They do.
Our central location right on the Gulf of Mexico, do you feel like the infrastructure makes it easier to get things in and out as well as keep the community safe?
That's right. On the freight side of the business, I spend a lot of time traveling around the world.
Oh, I'm sure.
Developing business. And when I talk to folks, I say, if you're happy with your supply chain, if you're happy shipping your product from point A to point B, that's awesome. Let's have a cup of coffee and let's move on. But if you're not happy, if you are stuck in congestion, if your product isn't getting to market in a timely fashion, let's talk. And I'm finding a lot of interest in particularly us being able to sell a congestion-free port. When your vessel shows up outside of Ship Island, 18-mile transit in, that is congestion-free. When you arrive at the terminal, our labor is ready to tie your vessel up, either day or night, no matter what day. We had a ship come in at Christmas this year, and we worked that vessel. But then when you leave the gate, I've yet to meet the owner of cargo whose destination is a pier. People want to get their product somewhere, and it's not a port, it's to market. And we have an ability to service the entire Midwest of the United States. So we're importing fruit.
What's the deal with the green fruit? We're very popular and well known, Mississippi, for green fruit. Is that right?
That's right. We are a major importer for green fruit. So we're the second largest importer in the United States.
That's huge.
Isn't it?
That is.
I really like the idea that some kid in Chicago is sitting down for his afternoon snack.
Right.
And his snack is a potassium, fiber, low-calorie snack that we had a hand in getting to.
A healthy carb.
A healthy carb.
Absolutely.
And, what a cool thing.
It is.
But we're able to extend that model to all sorts of products, and both import and export. So I think one of our real values in the community is the ability for Mississippi companies to utilize us as a way to export their product to new markets, and really make sure that it's going both directions, that we're importing that green fruit, but also that maybe we're exporting Mississippi agricultural products or lumber or a host of potential.
And there's a fine balance as well as safety for the community. I don't feel like people realize how important the Port of Gulpport, Mississippi, it is to the safety of the community. We eat the green fruit. We enjoy the Southern hospitality, but they're large corporations. They're the visionaries, the entrepreneurs, as well as the village that are making all of these things happen. Like Ocean Arrow, they saw potential here, and we are developing. Amazing.
It's a remarkable place for a business to relocate. The friendliness of the people, the great weather, the access to water, which is unprecedented, and just the low cost of living, the great business environment. We have one of the best business environments in the country, and businesses should think hard about coming to Mississippi,
right,
because it's working for companies like Ocean Arrow and many others.
Well, obviously, we are rocking and rolling, being the Port of Gulpport, the Mississippi ports. We have a new CEO, Chief Executive Officer. How many strategic ports are there in the United States?
We're very proud to be one of 18 strategic seaports in the United States. And that's critically important to support our military, being able to project its power overseas. As we all know, it's an uncertain world today. There's a lot of risks out there, and us being able to move troops and equipment is so important. So we are one of 18. We have a number of advantages. We have a number of responsibilities. So we always have to be ready. We're obligated as a strategic seaport to, within 24 hours, be able to move a great deal of equipment. We have a rail line that comes directly into our terminal, so heavy equipment can move that way. But it's just important to us to be part of that process. And it's important jobs because longshoremen are moving some of that onto those military vessels.
Mr. Jon, tell me about the economic impact.
We just completed a strategic plan where we had economists look at our entire economic impact in the region. It's a $3.8 billion economic impact. That includes 3,600 direct employees. And our tax, state and local tax contribution is over $60 million when you count us and all our tenants and all our partners involved in this port.
Well, with the economic impact and the development, so much has happened. There's so many projects that we haven't even touched on. We're basically scratching the surface. But where do you see Mississippi going? Where do you see the growth, the development? We have Oceanero here now with the potential. What do you see happening around?
I see great things and great opportunity. We're having some momentum here.
Definitely momentum.
We're all moving in the same direction, and that's to improve the lives of all the people in Mississippi. And I see nothing but up. For example, the reconstruction here, we're going to be able to fully utilize that over the next 10 years, next 5 years. And we're just going to see more and more economic impact as long as we work together, as long as we partnership and keep rowing in the same direction. We have nothing but upside.
And I love how, you touch on that 5-10 years. You've only been here a little over a year, and so much has happened. You have so many projects going on that we haven't touched on. But I'm just so excited that we have you in Mississippi, and thank you for your leadership. Most importantly, your time to meet with Coastal Connections with Courtney, and we all appreciate you so very much, Mr. Jon.
Thank you, Courtney.
So thank you for your time, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulport.